Hello, everybody. Spider here, the Coming Soon podcast. Of course, in San Antonio, Texas, we are inside the Rolling Oaks Mall, being joined by the trucker. My man, how are you doing today, bro?
Doing good. Glad to be in San Antonio, my favorite town.
No, and my first question is, not the first time being here?
No, I was born here.
Really? You see, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. As far as what was it that brought you guys here? Was it military? Parents?
No. They were farmers from South Texas.
Oh, okay.
And moved up from. My mother was actually born in a little town called Runge.
Oh, wow.
Runge is just south of Goliad, and then my grandmother and her family are from Goliad. And they moved to the biggest town, farming.
Right.
So they moved to the biggest town that was close, and that was San Antonio.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, cool, man. Well, having been here before, what are some of the sights that you always like when you come over here to San Antonio, man?
Oh man, the stuff I love the town. Now, granted, I was born here, but
right.
I only lived here. I went to third grade.
Oh, okay.
At trying to think of a little school, St. Peter Claver. It was on Nolan, where 281 is now, downtown, basically.
Oh, wow, okay.
See, I was born in a little house right off of New Braunfels.
Wow.
Yeah, right off of New Braunfels and Commerce, right in the corner there. Anyway, what I like about San Antonio is the missions.
Right.
I like going to the Governor's Palace downtown.
There you go.
I like Brackenridge Park, the best in the
definitely.
world, in my view. And fairly antique things.
Yeah.
Being
born here myself, I grew up here. I always tell people there's a lot of history.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when you go to these parts of town, you kind of embrace it, and you're like, man, like so much happened in the missions. Out there, the river walks out there, of course, but the whole history behind it. You mentioned Brackenridge Park. A lot of people don't realize that it's actual natural springs.
Yeah.
Like
over the head of the river.
Yeah. So a lot of
right
people
there.
are like, oh, it's not. But I'm like, man, when we were little, we used to go jump in the water, which is a no-no, of course, But
then.
Yeah.
Or now, I should say. But
no,
then,
yeah. Back then, it's like, man. But
my first fishing trip was on the San Antonio River.
Really?
Right below Brackenridge Park. Yeah.
Oh man, look at that.
Grandpa, we got on the bus. The house was at Cherry, Indiana and Cherry, which is now she lived right on the railroad tracks.
Right.
I used to watch as a little kid. I'd walk, 50 yards from the front door and stand there by the tracks and watch those damn monster steam trains coming in from Laredo. Wheels that are, I'm 6'3" now, wheels that were 3 feet taller than me. And just sit there and watch them, and they're going slow because the Santa Fe station was only like 3 blocks away. Yeah. So they're barely moving, but all the parts are so exciting.
It's a lot of heavy metal.
What'd you ask me? I was wandering already.
Oh, no. As far as like the city, of course, there's a lot to see. I myself, when we grew up on the east side of town, right east of downtown. So, of course, Pine Street, we were right off there. You mentioned railroad tracks. We used to have tracks at the end of the same thing, man. Just watching those big old, heavy metals rolling by, man. It's definitely an experience, but of course.
When I was a kid, there was still Apache Courts over there, right behind, what is it? What did they build there? Not Folk Life, but whatever that big tower and all that stuff is.
Right, the Hemisphere Tower.
Hemisphere.
Yes, sir.
Hemisphere.
And I was going to say, a lot of them, they're lofts now. Now they're little, upscale, but back when, housing, of course.
Yeah.
But, and that's pretty much everything that's been happening. They're just kind of making everything pretty,
That's happening everywhere.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's happening everywhere.
And of course, you still have family here in San Antonio.
Man, no, they've all died. There's nobody left. I have one kind of great aunt.
Right.
And she's really more of a cousin rather than an aunt. I don't know. When they get back 2 or 3 generations, I don't know. But yeah, she's really the last one. But yeah, everybody was here. My grandmother, my grandfather, all this on my mother's side.
Right.
The other part of my family is in North Texas. But yeah.
Man, and of course, the movie, man. It's a historic. It's one of a kind, of course. It actually set the scale for a lot of other horror movies that pursued it.
Absolutely.
Now, the experience. How was the experience doing the movie?
It was work, man. It was real work. I thought they were just hiring me to drive my truck. Is my truck.
Right.
They needed a truck. So I thought, hey, no big deal. I can drive a truck.
I'm gonna haul something, maybe.
Man, when they got my butt out of that truck, I started working. I'm all right behind the wheel, but I had to run up and down that road, hitting Gunner just right, and then taking off after I'd hit Ed with the truck. We probably ran that take at least 20 times.
Wow,
at least.
man.
What I tell people, and it's true, when we started doing the take,
Right.
if you look at this particular shot, I don't know if this will come out in your
Oh,
thing.
definitely hope. Yes, sir.
This take here, when we started, I was standing there.
Right.
And I got my ass slowed take after take after take. I kept cheating over to get off of this hard gravel.
Oh,
off the
man.
hot road and get on the dead grass.
Yeah.
So that's where we ended up. But we started out right there, right at the edge of the truck. Excuse me. So it was hard.
Man.
But, you know.
And now you said it took 20 takes. I mean,
At
was
least.
that like with the wrench or with everything? Like,
No,
I mean,
no,
the running,
just the running. Just that shot.
Wow.
The shot, the wrench with Gunner, I think I threw it maybe 3 times.
And I mean, what was it, like a styrofoam?
Yeah, it was balsa wood.
Oh, okay.
Balsa
So,
wood.
I mean, did he complain when you hit him or no, man?
No, he knew it. I think the first time I was afraid to throw it. The next time I threw it too soft and it just kind of dropped and hit his chest. And the third time I hit him dead square in the forehead.
And I
I
wonder
don't
if
think he enjoyed it.
No, I was gonna say, I wonder if he saw it coming with that mask on. You know, he probably didn't expect it. You know,
It's hard for him to see a lot, but yeah.
Now, of course, I mean, do you go back and watch the film?
Occasionally, yeah.
And what is your thought when you watch it? You're thinking, man, you know what? I mean, years back. I mean, this was like 73.
4,
Well, you see, and I was gonna ask you about that because 74. I had seen, I guess, when it started, they released it in '74, and I always told people that's my birth year. So I'm always like, hey, man, they came out, you know, the whole. But yeah, man. I mean, it's been years, obviously, man. But I mean, as far as memories, man, what are some of the memories that you take back from that film or from doing that gig?
Well, it was a little bit of old home week because I knew a lot of the people that were involved in the film.
Right.
Like I got the part in the film because my good buddy Bob Burns, who was the art director, who created everything you saw, basically.
Right.
Is the reason why I got the film. So it was good seeing him. Gunner was my brother-in-law's best man at his wedding.
Oh, nice.
So he and Gunner went to high school together. So there's that kind of small town tie-in. And I didn't know Terry. I didn't know Ed. I don't think I knew Ed. No, that's not true. Ed and I did a play. I don't know if it was before or after. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
So it was interesting seeing those people that I knew already. I didn't know Marilyn either.
Right.
But yeah, whatever.
But it was comfortable though, right? I mean, having known people, and you're like, okay, well, I get to work with these guys, you know.
Well, I wouldn't use the word comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
It was damn hot and hard, but it was a familiar surroundings. Let me put it that way.
But let me ask you, because of course, I think we broke a record here in San Antonio. It was like 105 for like 70 plus days.
Horrible.
How hot was it when you guys were filming that?
Oh, I think it was not above 95,
Oh,
96.
okay.
But it was, if you look at the sky, it was that kind of sky at the beach where it's really hot, but there's no sun.
Yeah.
That's what it was. A lot of heat.
No, for sure. And of course, man, I mean, like I mentioned earlier, we are here in San Antonio. Road Sports, of course, they brought you out here, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did. You know, I mean, it's
Good people.
It's a pleasure to have met you, my man. Now, as far as what do you have going on these days?
Pretty much just doing these shows and stuff, and I'm also thinking about, my manager's trying to talk me into doing a little Tic-Tac series, TikTok rather.
Right.
Series on some just a fun. I won't go into the details.
No, but
I may be doing something like that in the future.
And now, if people want to know about that, because of course you have a website.
Yep.
So can they find out on your website about this?
Not yet, but yeah, they will.
Okay.
It's blackmariatrucking.com.
Gotcha. I'll definitely put it on the video.
Right on.
And anything else you want to say before we wrap this up, sir?
Well, just glad to be here and glad to be seen.
No, for sure. Of course, once again, Ed Guinn, thank you, man. This is Spider once again, Coming Soon Podcast. So next time, follow up.